everyone, my name is Kylie the Curly Crafter, and now that Easter is here, it is about time for an Easter fake bake. I'm sure by now we have all made at some point the iconic Easter Basket Cupcakes or the Robin's Egg and Nest Cupcakes. They are so festive, fun, and delicious, which we like to have our secret stash, but when you make these cupcakes, they just taste so delicious that you don't want to display them for too long just because you want to eat them. So today, we are going to make fake Easter basket cupcakes so you can have them cute on display for the Easter season and also have your secret stash set aside. If you haven't seen them before, here are some photos of what they look like. So without further ado, let's start making these cupcakes. Obviously, you are going to need your cupcake liners to make the fake cupcakes in. You can use like green ones to look like grass, maybe even brown ones to look like an Easter basket or a nest. I got my pack from Home Goods for $4. It comes with 36 baking cups and there's two different patterns. Today, I'm only going to use these striped ones. I think these colors are perfect and they are such a cute cupcake liner to match with our pastel M&Ms. For example, this is what real M&Ms look like just sitting here in our jar. As you can see, all of the pastel colors are just so pretty. Now, I was going to make them originally using clay until my mom found these packs of Easter eggs at Hobby Lobby for only $2. They are about the same size and very similar in color. The only thing is the blue is a little bit lighter than the real M&Ms. And these don't have like the M stamp like a regular M&M would. Which, if you wanted to go that crazy, you can realistically take these and paint on an M. But when we actually make the cupcakes, normally you don't want to see the M. So we would take the peanut M&M and place it face down so you didn't see the M and they just look like little eggs in a basket. So to save a lot of time and work, I definitely recommend picking up some of these. Each pack comes with 20 eggs. And just look how perfect the colors of the eggs are with our little cupcake liners. Talking about cupcakes, to actually look like the batter part of a cupcake, we are going to be using some insulating foam. This is the kind that I'm using. I'm pretty sure you can pick up at Walmart. You are going to need some lightweight spackle and some paint to make the fake frosting. I purchased mine from Home Depot. To pipe the frosting, you're going to need some piping tips and also piping bags. And the last thing I'm going to use is going to be these wire forms from Dollar Tree and some jute rope. I'm going to use this to create little basket handles, which will be super cute, but you can also just use pipe cleaner because when you make the real version, normally you just use something simple like pipe cleaners, but I decided to be a little extra. Now let's get to fake baking. So in order to make the cupcakes, we have our cupcake liners and we are going to be spraying some foam inside of it. But in order to do that, you kind of just have to lay out the cupcake liners. So you won't have to do that while you're working with the foam because it tends to like droop out of the can and make a huge mess, which we don't want to do. So just be prepared and lay out your cupcake liners. And then once you have the foam, it's fairly simple. The instructions are on the back. All you really have to do is vigorously shake it for a minute. And then it should come with a nozzle that you can use to screw onto the can and pipe the foam in the cupcake liners. Now when it comes to actually putting the foam in the cupcake liners, I go to about 2/3 of the way full because the foam does expand. And for the most part, when it does expand, it already flattens itself out and creates a nice dome that looks like a baked cupcake. So just continue spraying the foam in all of the cupcake liners, and then before we move on to the next step, which would be like painting or making our frosting, we actually have to let the foam dry. So I wait till the next day. And then you are finally able to work with it because we don't want our foam to expand and ruin all the project that we have already worked on. So normally at this point, I would actually paint this cupcake part like a beige, a vanilla color, or chocolate so it would look like a cupcake. But for this particular cupcake, I'm not really gonna see the batter part, I guess you could say, so I'm not gonna worry about it, and we are just going to go on to making the handles, which are out of these cheap wire wreath forms that I found at Dollar Tree. With some wire cutters, you can cut off little segments of wire, which are going to be the handles, and then you can use anything round to kind of form it into a U shape, like a little basket handle once again, and these are actually super easy to do. As soon as it's all formed, you can actually just stick it right into the foam and it stays there. It even holds up the cupcake really nicely, and then I'm not even going to add any glue because when I add the spackle frosting, it'll kind of just mold everything together. So go through and create all of your handles. As for the handles, I don't want them to be like a black wire. I want them to give off more of a wicker basket vibe. So I'm just going to use some simple and cheap jute rope. Also my hot glue gun so that I can secure the jute rope onto my wire handle. Just start with a little dollop of glue to secure the one end of the jute rope, and then you can just go around and wrap the whole entire wire piece in jute. I just personally like to take out the actual handles because it makes it a lot easier to wrap the jute rope around versus trying to wrap it on the wire that's still connected to the bottom of the cupcake. And then once that is all done, you can glue the other end of the jute rope down to the other side of the wire so that you have a fully coated rope handle like this. And then as soon as that's done, it'll stick right back into your foam cupcake. Now for the fun part, which is decorating our fake cupcake and making the fake frosting. So you are going to need your good old nice and lightweight spackle. So we are going to use the lightweight spackle and create the frosting. And I also have a big surprise for you guys because we have a bonus cupcake. My mom needed a cupcake to decorate for Easter this year, which was a little bit smaller than the original basket cupcakes. So I kind of made those, and then I made a simple frosted one with the cutest little sprinkles, which you guys are about to see. So in this bowl is actually going to be the green frosting for the basket cupcakes, and then I'm going to take a solo cup so that we can make some super pretty and Eastery pink frosting for our bonus cupcake. This is the cupcake in all of her glory, and as for the frosting, I decided to go with this shade from Apple Barrel. It's in the color Pink Blush, and I really like this shade because it's like a super soft pink, like a strawberry cream frosting. So that's the color we are going to mix up for the frosting. Once you are satisfied with the color of your frosting, you can grab a piping tip. I'm using this open star piping tip and then also a piping bag, which we are going to transfer the pink frosting into our piping bag with. And once that is all set up, we can just pipe on our frosting onto our cupcake. Just look at these sprinkles, sprinkles, sprinkles. They are so cute, and I love these little confetti ones, which I think is what we will be using today. I believe I got them off Etsy from the brand called Play Code 3, and they are just so cute. So I just put a couple of those in my hand and sprinkled them on the luscious pink frosting, and then you have a finished cupcake. Just let it dry, and then you can use it anywhere in your home. We actually put it in a cute little cake stand in our hutch, so definitely make one of these. Just look how cute. Switching back to our basket cupcakes, I decided to dye the fake frosting this time around with the shade Kelly Green from Apple Barrel, which is a really nice green color. But I did decide that I wanted to change it a little bit because I wasn't really satisfied with the shade it was. I wanted it to be a little warmer, kind of like a light pale grassy color, if you get what I'm saying. So I used the shades Christmas Green and Sunny Day just to kind of give it a different hue, like a warmer tone, and then the Christmas Green kind of darkened it up. So I really like how this color came out. And then as soon as that is all mixed up and ready, we can actually get to the super fun part, which is actually assembling the final product of our basket cupcakes. And I cannot wait for you guys to see the final product. If you are new to fake baking, a tip I would definitely like to throw on out there, especially for this cupcake, is if your batter or your fake frosting is too liquidy from adding too much paint trying to get the color you want, you can add things like baby powder or cornstarch into your mixture to thicken it back up. I prefer baby powder because you have the potential of your fake bake to mold if you use cornstarch. But anyways, just thicken it back up, especially since we're piping grass and you're gonna need a piping tip like this with a bunch of tiny holes. What I'm trying to say is, in order for the grass to look good on your cupcake, you kind of want it to stand tall and not just flop over or melt together. So definitely make sure your mixture is kind of thick. So with all that being said, let's put our fake frosting into the piping tip and let's start piping our grass. Other than just piping on your grass, there's not really a specific way to do this, but there is a few things that I would like to mention, maybe to make your cupcakes look a little better. So not on this one because this is the first one I made, but for the majority of the cupcakes I was piping, I would start by just squeezing some of the frosting down into the edges so I didn't waste time piping. And then I would pipe around the edges first, and then I would fill everything in the center. And then even if you wanted like your cupcake to be thicker or like your base wasn't thick enough, you can always just go on top and add a second layer of grass just to kind of give it more of that like grassy volume, I guess, for your cupcake. And then once all your grass is piped, this is the fun part, which is taking all the little eggs. I like to add 3 on each cupcake, and then you get to pick your color combinations, place it on there, and that is about it. And as soon as your cupcake's dry, you have the cutest, most festive, super realistic and fun fake bake type of Easter basket cupcake that you can decorate with, and they are just so fun. Just look how cute. One more quick thing I would like to mention is if you rather purchase these instead of make them yourself, you can either follow my tutorial or go purchase them on my Etsy shop at Curly Crafters Cakes, and I will leave you guys a link down in the description. So there you have it.